Welcome back everyone to my Endless Space 2 Let's Play, playing as the Horatio and using the second alpha update. Now since the last time I recorded, there's actually been a new patch that's come out for Endless Space 2. Still the same update, it's 0.2.3. Now this patch fixes a number of small issues that I was having in the first patch that I used, like the occasional bug error message that would pop up and your text error as well. It's still not a finished game though, so there's still plenty of stuff to do. They also fixed one major bug which I was having issues with. That was to do with gene splicing. It was indeed costing a lot more food than it was supposed to, so that bug has now been fixed, and from now on my populace will have a lot more food than it previously had, and I will now be continuing to gene splice and actually use that on certain factions that I acquire coming up. And apart from that, there was also a bit of an issue with approval. They actually changed some things, and they basically introduced a pretty serious issue with dictatorships. Now luckily I've been able to mod the game, so I'm not gonna suffer from that in the upcoming videos. But I have been actually holding off in the hope that a new patch would come out, but it hasn't yet, so I'm not sure when that will be. But yeah, so I've had to mod the game, and if we take a look in the systems here, what was happening is basically the approval was being affected by representatives not in the Senate. And what happened is, I believe they increased it from 0.5 to 5 for each senator, and that's for all government types, not just dictatorships. But on top of that, with dictatorships, they introduced this. So what was happening before I modded the game is the penalty was 3 times as much for each representative without representation in the Senate. So it was causing each senator, not representative, to be minus 15 in approval, which meant that if you had a lot of them, like I do on all of my worlds, and in fact this is going to be the case for pretty much anyone who's playing as a dictatorship, then you're going to have, in some circumstances, over minus 200 in approval hits. That was the case of things before. Now, as I mentioned, I've modded my game, so it's no longer 3 times as much, but 0.5. So in effect, each of my senators is only going to be minus 2.5. But that is still a lot, and my happiness has actually gone down a heck of a lot from what it was in the previous videos I've done. You can see I'm getting minus 32.5 from my senators on that world, for instance, and it's even more than that in other worlds. I think this place is minus 45. That one, what's that? That's 18 senators. On the old system it would have been 18 times 15, those is well over 200 odd. So yeah, if you've been playing the game with this patch, then you might have noticed that, and I'm not sure if I mentioned, but yeah, the forums have been complaining about this all week basically. So, apart from that though, I should continue on with things. What had been happening is I'd been conquering the Sophon to deal with their influence, and yeah, I should be able to hopefully continue doing that. But we've still got the threat of the Lumeris down here, who are probably going to flip my worlds if I can't do something about it, but I'm going to be going after their capital soon. There was a number of other small changes with the patch as well, which I should mention. So if I come to the text screen here, you can see now there's a new key feature being added, which gives you more details about things here. The ships, they've actually changed the weapons on these a bit. So that scared me there. The ranges on the weapons have been changed a bit, and even the damage per second as well, so these are pretty different now. Because there's so much to do this turn after introducing a new patch, I've actually prepared a save game where I did a load of things like updating my ship weapons, doing the gene splicing, and moving heroes around, moving population around. So I'm going to load that now, and then we'll continue on from there. Okay, so we're at the end of the turn, and as I mentioned, I've updated a ton of things. So basically with my fleets, I took stuff out the Hannahs, grouped them up. So my main fleet that was down here, I've now got moving over to Orm, and it's going to move over to Izar and down here to try and find the influence creating capital. The fleet I had up on Othero that had recently taken that, I've also brought down here as well. I got the odd stray ship coming over also. I've moved population around a bit. I should mention a bit about population as well. What they've done with the new patch, they actually changed some of the collection status bonuses, and now the Horatio is actually a bit different. Before they were getting influence boosts, but now all of the races at the second level seem to get a basically a bonus towards a certain affiliation for the government. So in the case of Horatio, it's religious, the Sophons are science, and the last thing was changed here as well, so that's now anarchy time. And yeah, there's been small changes for all of the different races. The first bonus actually is pretty interesting for a lot of the races. They get a flat bonus if you have a certain population type on a system. That's a big change actually, which kinda means I regret killing off these guys completely earlier on. I believe at some point I did think that when you did the gene splice all the population was killed, but it's not. It is just a flat amount depending on how many you have done so far. So I wouldn't mind arguably getting some more of those guys if they have some pretty good bonuses like 15% science on a system like the Sophons happen to do. The Mavros also have a good bonus, so I would quite like to have one Mavros, one Sophon in every single system in effect. There is actually an approval building which benefits from having lots of different race types, but overall still the Horatio really benefit from having a lot of just the Horatio, since they're so much better potentially than the other races. So I will mainly want Horatio within my empire. Now in terms of other things I've done, let's have a look through this then. So government, I'm definitely going to have to increase my approval. So in terms of tech, I'm actually going for this tech next. This unlocks the ability to influence elections, which I now need, which I didn't really with the way things were before. That will also give me extra approval. Can have more systems. I'm going to need that to get new Imperator ship types. I need antimatter. And I'll probably go for this tech next then, which is yet more approval perhaps. If you're starting out with dictatorships now, yeah, getting that tech would probably be much more important now. With the ability to influence elections, it's much more important. And yeah, the new government type actually, you may want to change your dictatorship. Certainly if you haven't modded the game, you basically have to, because it's unplayable as a dictatorship if you don't mod the game. I will let you know how to mod the game as well. I'll pin it in the comments, give you details on that, or I have actually created a post on the official forums which is mentioned in there as well. But yeah, so what else have I changed? If we take a look at the system screen, I moved my heroes around, so I've got crazy food in certain places. I moved this hero to Staderus to get more Jandanics, and also to try and prevent that from being culture flip. I think in this update to the patch they may have reintroduced how it worked, the influence, similar to what it was doing in update 1. So it may not be a flip immediately like it was in the previous part of this Let's Play, but we'll see. And yeah, that's the state of things there. I definitely need to increase my happiness. In fact, I believe we do have a bit of a mutiny going on a couple of worlds, so I need to do something about that. Alva, for instance, you can suppress it, but I'm actually out of manpower because I've been making so many ships, so I'm going to have to do that seduce option, which is spend some luxury resource, which is amianthoid, I believe there. I am wanting to do that, and that's increased it for a bit by the looks of it, which is great. I don't know if that's stopped entirely or not, but yeah, that's definitely reduce that. I updated my build lists quite a lot. What else have I done? I've changed just the exacta ship. So if we come in here. Now before I wanted to have basically all-in-one weapon type, either beam type weapons or conventional type weapons, but I think things have changed a bit now, so I'm not going to be doing that. This weapon here is absolutely amazing in damage per second, so I've just loaded all of those on here because it's like 51 at short range, whereas that is only plus 11, which is completely and utterly different, but that does have 80% in other areas. Something which is interesting about this weapon type though, which it doesn't mention there, if we add one on, look at the defense rate in here. That actually goes up and that goes down significantly. So that some weapons on here seem to give a bit of in defense, even though it doesn't mention it. But yeah, I'm going to have these as close range crazy damage. And I think for my other ships I'm going to use the torpedoes because I really like them. See, that one is 120 and that one is 120 as well. They're the better options, it would seem, but they're not in both the same category. So I've changed that. Heroes, nothing to mention about, I think. Quests, nothing to mention about. Diplomacy. Right, I think I'm pretty much ready to end the turn. I know I've been discussing stuff for absolutely ages. There was one thing with trade, which isn't actually new with this patch, but I didn't know before, so I'm going to show you that shortly. If we come into trade, you can see now both of my actual companies are working, and I did actually spend a bit to get this one up as well. Now, I hadn't actually built a subsidiary over here yet, so you may be wondering how that's working. Basically, what I didn't realise is trade can flow through the wormholes. So you can have trades, yeah, probably a huge trade network through these in actual fact. So that one is now trading to that subsidiary. It may be trading to the other headquarters, I'm not sure if it does that actually, but yeah, that's linked up now, so I'm getting much more money and science and resources because of that. I still need to build another subsidiary, but that's great as well. Also, something which was updated is in the marketplace. The amounts of luxuries seems to be updated as well with this patch and this save game, so I got a crazy amount of transvine in here and dark glitter and blue cat mold. Not sure why. I think inflation may have been reduced as well. Right, anyway, so let's continue on with things. So we've got a new political survey, and haven't seen that screen before. I'm probably going to keep a dictatorship. You could make a case that maybe I'm benefiting a bit too much from my approval, but yeah, I wanted it so to make it dictatorship still worthwhile. If I had done it much more than that, then I would have just switched to government. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the official amount would be when they next patch the game. They may do something similar to what I've done, or something more or less, who knows. So population gained, I'll come back to that in a bit. 2 heroes have got upgrades to assign our skills. So what am I gonna pick up here? She can now get into the 3rd ring. So that's strategic deposit resource. Oh wow, that's approval, that's pretty good. Do I need, I probably do need it there actually. Okay, let's go for that one. So that's overpopulation and overcolonization, that one is. Okay, I could probably do with some more heroes actually for really good worlds, at least another one. This one. This guy's on Aldebaran now, I think, so yeah, I don't know if I need that one there. The way things work now with these skills, the first skill is really good and the second one just isn't that good. So arguably you should split them around much more than just go deep, get the second one all the time. But yeah, anyway, for now I think I'm gonna pick up, what's that, fleet, system, money. Okay, I'll go pick up that resource. I'm not really sure what's on Aldebaran. I think it's blue cat from memory. Yeah, so he was there and the hero's there. Okay. Research. Yeah, so I got extra happiness off that this turn. And we can now, in the next election, in 3 or so turns away, use that. Let's move on my fleets this turn. Okay. I'm now out of antimatter, so I really need that tech to be able to make more exacta ships. Now I think I have actually completed one or two this turn. They're probably too far away for me to make use of it. Orm and Staderus also had weapons, which I may be able to get out of the Hannah. Okay, so is that my ship or someone else's ship? It's my ship. Let's get that there. And okay, I may group those up, I'm not sure. Right, so that's a complete fleet. It's got right, there's stuff coming over there. Let's get the exacta ship out of there. Okay, let's put that down there. They're all going over there. I got some freight with population moving to various places because I want a Sophon in every world. I've got to get some Sophons out from these to bring over here in a bit, I think. Right, I don't have much of the Mavros sadly yet. Right, that exacta can come there. I think I'll figure that one out later. So it's my... yeah, that fleet has arrived down there. Does it use up all the movement when you go for a wormhole? I don't actually know. Okay. It does. Right, let's send out a probe over here. There. And looks like we just found the capital. So I think, pretty sure, that's where all their huge influence is coming from. So that's the prime target. I'm going to be sending that down there. I can't see a fleet, but who knows what they've got. We discovered the planet of Genes. I'm not going to read all of that. That's the capital system. Okay, so 7.7. Can I get there in a turn? No, I can't. Right, I don't think I'm going to be able to attack anything, sadly, this turn. I have reached Gonos with my fleet up there, and that revealer is also up there. I'm going to bring... see details about them now as well. Let's come up here. This is also slightly in rebellion. Getting some happiness up. I'm not sure I can... I need hydromial there, which I don't have enough of, or manpower. That is my man. Fuck. Yeah, that's my manpower currently. And I don't. Yeah, the ships, those imperators probably need a lot of manpower, and I just don't have it. So I'm minus 4,000 at the moment. I'm gonna make another scout ship there. Something which I didn't know before as well. You can actually click on those there and have them be built. It's 100 production. I might as well just make a revealer to do it though, to be honest. Use a scout afterwards as well. Right, I think I've pretty much done as much as I can do this turn, apart from moving population around and updating my build list. So I'm going to take a minute out now to do that. Okay, the only thing I had to really update build queue wise this turn was Code Chap. I stuck a few things in there, as you can see. And apart from that, I've moved on a ton of ships. So what I did is basically move this fleet on, which I believe was already grouped up. That gets to next turn. That used all of its movement. I brought that Imperator down from there, and I grouped everything I could up to create an almost complete fleet there. That's out of movement, so I just got it on blockades. Not sure if anything will arrive in system, the miners there next turn, but if it does, it's going to get attacked. I'm going to keep an Imperator up here that I built to take out some miners. I've got some population moving around. I actually decided to move a population from Gemini this turn, but it only shows up next turn, I believe. And apart from that, I think that was about all I did. So yeah, I'm pretty much ready to end the turn, apart from this fleet. I've got some expeditions I can do over here, so let's do that now. So right, they might try and force a truce on me again, which is going to cause me another -20 approval issues whenever they decide to do that. I'm a bit worried if I start a war against Lumeris. Well, I think the truces are probably separate. I'm not 100% sure though, because yeah, it could be an issue if I'm getting approval issues off both of them, or yeah. I need to keep that war going until I've dealt with that influence, definitely. Hopefully I don't go... Well, I might be able to take that in the next few turns and keep Stadris, we'll see. Right, I've done all the expeditions there. Let's send that probe down here. I've got a revealer ship coming up there, which I'll send through the wormhole, no doubt. There seems to be a wormhole over here as well, doesn't it? So let's find out where that's going off. Yeah, probably don't need to send any more probes up. Other than that, that revealer's coming up there, and I'm making another one on Ash in a bit. Right, that's it for the turn. Let's end the turn. Okay. Last turn I could have actually declared war on these, couldn't I? And done their manpower in, which I didn't think about doing. Yeah, that may have been a mistake, me not doing that. But pretty sure that's where the influence is coming from. Yeah, that's getting worrying. But I got my best influence hero there, but it's not making much of a difference at this stage. Yeah, but anyway, let's move on my fleets. Okay, and let's do some combat if we've got any. So I've got population go to Aldebaran, it's almost arrived. That one's going to Kochab, that was the one I did last turn from Gemini. So I think that's all the population I got moving around. This system, can't do anything about the mutiny going on there quite yet, but we do get that in next turn. I really want this to be creating more Mavros population, but it's not at the moment. Having a Horatio on every planet though is very good, because good approval wise. Right, so I've got 2 fleets I can do something with, at least 2 supposedly. Well, first things first, let's take Gonos, I think, and it looks like they've got another system over there, but it's quite far away. That's not too bad actually, and that's going to engulf Varan in a bit, so I probably do have to do something about that. Right, let's take this. Oh, can I attack something? Ah, your forces on Gonos are destroyed, civilian, blah blah, dust. Right, let's invade. Okay, and I've actually used a heck of a lot of my manpower over here, so I'm going to do infiltration for this one. I might not have enough for it to succeed. I didn't check then to see how much I had. Actually, probably should have done. Okay. My forces have had some boosts done to them though, but yeah, I certainly don't have the manpower to do it anymore anytime soon. Probably need to actually find some ways to increase my manpower coming up. There are a few ways I can do it, make some certain building types, even do exotic rations, which is sacrificing population. Have we got another combat round? No we don't. Yeah, so often I've been taking blitz, which would have done that combat in one go, almost definitely, and probably should have done there. Right, let's continue on with things. So my manpower is... Oh, is it being wiped out literally completely? Well, that's... Well, it says I got manpower there, but it doesn't say I've got it there, which is strange. I'm not sure what's going on with that. I'll keep that going, but with this revealer ship, I'm actually going to send that down here. Ooh, it looks like there's a miner over there. Okay. We found another amoeba. Have we found one before? Thought we had. Right, they have harmonious development, which is extra food per production, supposedly. We've also found a Nashast, which are new in this update. So these are hard hitters, massive bonus to damage done to attacker. Okay, wow, I found a heck of a lot over here then. So it looks like, yeah, they maybe had the best starting location because they had another constellation all to themselves over here. So I may well want to spend my influence on these guys straight away. Well, let's make first contact with those. Yeah, the problem with doing that though is I'm gonna have yet more colonies, and I have approval issues as it is, so I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with that. I'm gonna have to think maybe. There's an asteroid somewhere. So that's done this turn. What else can I do? There's combat I can do here, so let's do that. Does it use up all the movement on the fleet? I'm not sure. Might do, which means I can't move that forward if it is the case. Let's find out though. So let's do advanced, and this one is pretty simple actually. So I'm going to do experience on fleet. That's designed for short range combat. This one doesn't have the beams, as guns. That one's also short range. I have to have, these are all now long and medium, so I'm going to have those and that. It should dim out the cards that you're not using as well, in my opinion, but it's not the case of things so far. I'm going to have one weapon on there, and yeah, let's have a combat. Let's see how that works. Actually watch it. I want to see those ships as well actually. Oh, that's not good. Should be okay to continue. So these lines are the directions that ships are going to take an attack from, and I think the red lines are where they're attacking. Okay. Right, decisive victory. Okay, so that's one combat done. Let's get... there wasn't one over here, was there? No. And there wasn't one over there either. Okay, this fleet, I'm going to try and bring this down here as quickly as possible. Let's put it down to there. I may well declare war this turn. I could bring that through as well. Is that 16? Yeah, let's bring that through. Okay, that should have used all this movement, yeah. And that revealer, let's also bring it through. Okay, that should reveal a heck of a lot more now. Right, so the United Empire seemed to be over here. Right, looks like a text error there, and that gives a variety of bonuses for that cloud, wherever it is. It's that one, is it? Okay. Done. Right, what's to move then? That's... Right, I'm going to declare war on these guys this turn, and Lumeris. No sign of any of their ships. Looks like they're just going for a peaceful strategy. Let's declare war and make an offer. 113. Your declaration of war is no surprise to the families. Let us play the deadly game then.